Hey, how's it going? Uh, we are just getting started here. I got a couple things right at the top that I want to talk about. First thing is that the stream is now affiliated or something like that. I don't know exactly what the terminology is, but you can subscribe. Oh, hi. Hi, Magi. Good to have you here. Um, So you can subscribe. I haven't set up any of the emotes or anything yet for subscribing. I think you get one at affiliate. I'm not exactly sure. I gotta look into all that. So if you want emotes, you can have them. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna be doing, but I've had a crazy week, and it's why I haven't streamed earlier in the week. You're still gonna get two art streams. We're just going to do today and tomorrow rather than, Monday or Tuesday and then Thursday or Friday. So yeah, you're still going to have as much art as you normally would during the week. It's just going to be at the end of the week. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, feel free. It's a good way to support the stream. If you like the content that we're doing, as always, I prefer you buy comic books, but you do you, man. If you want to support the stream, I ain't gonna stop you. All right. Here's what we got. I did one minor thing. I'm getting pop-ups. Hold on. If you'd like to lodge an official complaint as an office worker, you'd prefer I do streams that end at 5 p.m., not start. Yeah. Man, it's been a crazy week. So I've been working on American Way, and that's been coming in, and it's been coming in hot, trying to hit deadlines. And I'm also simultaneously juggling Deadpool right now, which actually came out on Wednesday, and I was like stoked to promote it because it's a great book. 288 came out on Wednesday, but I was just so slammed with work that I couldn't really do anything. There was like no free hour in the day. And then I was working on beauty covers and realm covers this week as well. So it was nuts. There was like no room for error with anything. You prefer the reverse? You can't watch streams at work? Well, look, Magi, McCoy, you guys fight it out amongst yourselves. And then whoever is left standing, will just go with them. May the strongest survive. Yeah, so it was crazy this week, but we're still gonna do the streams dedicated to it. I did one thing. So this was the original line art in the piece that we were working on. It was like black white. This is another piece of the line art that Tom provided for us. And it's brushed in, and there's all these like interesting marks that are being made. And at first I shied away from this only because I have like a little less experience with line art that's like this, but I want to challenge myself. I want to put myself out there. On a beauty cover, I recently used like masks and a bunch of Photoshop hoodoo to like kind of roll with this kind of stuff. So we're gonna try using this line art instead of the original black and white. Remy, thank you for the follow. Remy's figure, I don't even know if it flashed. It's here and gone. Thank you for the follow. So let's kind of get into it. Like I said when we were flattening this, I think that the biggest thing that's going to like sell it is going to be foreground, background. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how working on this kind of line art is going to be a little bit more challenging than the black and white line art. All right, but before we do anything, let's copy the line art and save it to an alpha channel so that just in case things go real off the rails, we can manage. So we want to separate foreground and background. Let's select all of the background. And hopefully this, if we did our job right when we flatted, hopefully this won't select any foreground elements. But it looks like, oh, my tolerance is at 20 for the wand. It looks like her hair, Barda's hair, and the sewer are kind of, yeah. So that's background. And we're gonna save that as background. So like this is kind of like, it looks weird, but like this is kind of where we want to be as far as like the art kind of like registering. It's 5 o'clock, by the way. So what we need to do is kind of like push this stuff back, make this stuff light, and then make everything else dark. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to wash it in like a yellowish or like a bluish maybe. Let's see how this looks. That looks like it's over the black channel. So this should like kind of push it back, and then we're going to wash the foreground in blue, like a dark blue. Okay, so like we're starting to separate the planes, but the thing is that we don't want to put our characters like in shadow the whole time. You know, like the characters are the most important thing. We want people to be excited about the characters. The background is not super thrilling. So another way to kind of like amp up the background or like make it, I don't know, like push it back and make it interesting is we're going to add like a zip tone texture, and we're also going to like knock out all the line art. So to do that, well, let's tweak the colors that we have down so that we get it all the way we want it. Also, I don't know if you guys realize this, but Mr. Miracle's costume is a little bit off. We're just a tiny bit off. He's got like a yellow stripe that we just like totally missed. I mean, it's understandable. We're like, you know, real zoomed in, and Barda's legs in front of him. So let's get that yellow stripe in, and then it continues to his arms, but he's got like a, so he's got like these. We're just gonna make those like greenish. Let's make those greenish. Kind of like, yeah, there we go. Now he's looking more like Mr. Miracle. So, okay. We want them in dark colors. We want to push them forward. Reds are going to become like kind of purplish, but you don't want to like lose what the character's got going on. Like the reds are becoming purplish, but like look at Mr. Miracle compared to Barda. He's like, they have like kind of the same red, kind of. Hers is a little bit darker than his, but like hers is looking like almost purple in the context. So let's warm it up just a little bit. We did like 50% of what's going on with Mr. Miracle. And also, let's warm up her skin tone just a little bit. Yeah, she's looking good now. Yeah, and we're going to actually like kind of these like lights down here, we'll light those up a little bit. Okay. Now let's talk about the background. Now let's tweak the background. So we kind of like, even though I washed it with blue, I didn't keep. Now you're driving home, Ziggy. All right, see you later, fake McCoy. Tomorrow, I mean, we're only gonna do this like, I don't know. We're gonna work this one like halfway and then probably finish it off tomorrow because I'm running a little late today too. So as you can tell by the 5 o'clock stream, so you'll catch up tomorrow. So the background that we want to work with, we're going to do the same thing. Like we washed the whole foreground in blue, but then we had to kind of like tweak the colors to get them to still kind of register where we need them. So let's do that. And I actually kind of want to go really light if we can, and kind of like a washed out blue. So like the foreground was like washed blue, so let's make the background kind of warm. So originally what I had decided to do with all this is I was going to talk to you guys about making art when you're starting to make art. Let me check this link that just popped up in the chat. It is not opening for me. There we go. Yeah, so Mr. Miracle just got linked in the chat, his costume. Yeah, we tweaked it. We did. I feel like we got there. You can't really. The thing is like his stripe is like half of his sleeve is yellow, and then the top half is red, and you can't really communicate that with the pose that's going on. So I don't know. I think we're in a good place for it. We might actually make this match the blues. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now, but one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is something that comes along with experience, and that is like beyond making art beyond making just art and trying to like find your way through it. When you start, you kind of like you're drowning, and you want it to hit well, like you kind of like when you start, you like panic when you have like an assignment, like you have a lot, you're just like I just want this to work, you're trying to figure that out. And then occasionally when you start making art, you will kind of like luck into a piece that like worked really well, like, and you like kind of stumble in, and to a various degree, like when you first start, you barely ever stumble in, and then when you're like a couple years in, you're like, oh, I'm like stumbling in more and more, and then when you get like 10 years down the line, you start to kind of make art with a purpose. And if you look at comic book art the way it is right now, and when you go down to your shop, like you can see a lot of comic art that is made, and I'm not going to single anybody out, but like you can see a lot of comic art that's made where it's like like this person's still figuring things out, for whatever reason. Like it's like nothing's, and this is the thing, is that nothing's wrong, but it's not as entertaining as other stuff. And I think that when I was starting in comics, I was getting a lot of critiques that were like, this all looks good, I don't have anything to add to it, you're like 90% there. Like I used to get that all the time, and it's like the most frustrating thing is to be like, oh, you don't have any input for me, I'm 90% there, but I'm not there yet. Like I don't understand, like what does that mean? So I kind of wanted to talk about that because I actually just got sent a project by somebody I had met at a con that was looking for some feedback, and he's a colorist who's starting out, and his work's good, but it's like I said, it's like 90% there. And it's the difference between like making art with a purpose and understanding the decisions you're making and kind of like feeling around in the dark. And the only thing there's like no way to kind of like fix that other than just working all the time. You know, like I remember there's a lot of projects in my past where I was just like, you know, even Marvel and DC stuff where I felt like I was like in the woods. I was still trying to figure out like how to get things to work right, how to get things to look good. The first thing I ever did for Marvel was this book called Fool Killer Max with Paul Azaceta. And Azaceta and I had worked together before, and I wanted to do kind of something different. But at the same time, I didn't have the experience to kind of like know exactly what I was doing, or like I had an idea of what I wanted, but it wasn't executed in a way where it was like working on every page. And that's kind of like, and this is, I'm like kind of regressing here, but my point is that like when you make something, when you make a comic, like the reason people want to see portfolio pages is and pages in your portfolio rather than pinups is because like consistency is important. And Fool Killer, like what my ideas for Fool Killer, and I've posted a little bit of Fool Killer, the more successful pages, on my Instagram a while ago. And I was doing this like I was like taking kind of a toothy brush and like painting on top of Paul's lines, like a layer set to screen where I was like basically knocking back his lines. And I think he hated that in retrospect. Like maybe it wasn't a great thing to do. But yeah, I was still like trying to find my way, and like I was still trying to figure out like what works and how to get that to work. And I got it to work on like the first couple pages. Hey, Kate. I got it to work on the first couple pages, but then it was like, oh, now I'm like locked into this. And now I'm like trying to figure it out as I go. And there were like more successful pages and less successful pages. And that's the thing, is like experience, and that experience made me kind of be like, okay, well, if that's not going to work, how do we make that work in the future? If that exact technique is not working, how do we do this right? I'm thinking about color. Hold on. We're trying to do a background, but we don't want to get it too dark. So like with every project, you get a little more experience, and then after a while, you start to like make art with a purpose. Like you go into it and you're like, okay, well, I've done, hundreds of issues or whatever, and like I know what this needs, like that kind of mentality, rather than being like, well, I'm just going to put color on it and I hope that it looks good when I'm done. Like there's the difference there, making art with a purpose, feeling like you are like an aggressive shark swimming in color versus like I'm drowning in it. I'm making a bunch of decisions and I hope it's good in the end. And part of that is like, you make the best choices you can and you just eventually get there. So yeah, when somebody says that like, oh, your art's really good, but you're like 90% there, like that's what they mean. Who, Photoshop, you are running a little bit sluggish today. We're pulling these grads and Photoshop is hesitating. So how can you get past that hump? Like how do you get past being 90% there? One of the things is to like sit back, see your work and be like, okay, like this is all technically right, but like is it entertaining? Like if you try to like and I talk about this when I was talking about the realm, is that like I try to, after I do the realm, whoa, Photoshop, you are struggling. Whew. We're adding a little bit of texture back here. Like with the realm, I try to give myself a little bit of time, like a weekend or something, like finish it on Friday, take the weekend and try to come back with fresh eyes, and then be like, okay, if I got these as a portfolio review, what would I change? Like, where would I go from here? How do I make this more interesting? You know, because usually the first pass that I do on a comic is usually like everything's right, everything's down, you know, like there's color on the pages, we're done here. And then like the second pass is like, okay, like how do we then, if I have time to do a second pass, sometimes, you know, you're under the gun or whatever, like how do we make this interesting? And, you know, part of that is like finding your voice, and like color is no different from everything else. Like, you know, you just got to eventually find what you want to do with color, like what your voice is. And the only way you find that is like trying shit out, man. Yeah. So, man, I have this portfolio that I got just recently, and I'm basically going to give that advice. Like, it's a winter scene thing, and you know, it looks good, you know, like nothing's wrong with it, but it could be more entertaining, you know, like that's where you want to end up. And to do that, not only is it going to take experience, but it's also going to take like knowledge of what you're trying to achieve. Like, when you sit down to start, you got to have an end goal, you know? A lot of times when I sit down with like this stream, I sit down and I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do today? Well, the success of this piece is XYZ, you know? And that's not for the, you know, like, I mean, I'm doing that I'm saying it out loud for the stream, but I also say it, you know, when I sit down to do anything, because like I want to know like before you even start, like how do you get to the end? Hey Boix, what's up? So yeah, I think that you know I'm talking a big game when it comes to color, but like, oh man, when it comes to like drawing, I am just as much in the weeds as everybody else. Like every like little piece of like something that gets drawn by me is like me fumbling around in the darkness trying to figure things out. You're in your last hour of your workday. That's nice. Thanks for you know, stopping by and spending it with us. Yeah, so like, yeah, when I do like when I draw something, it's just like like the internal monologue when I'm doing this is like, okay, we're gonna knock out the back, and then we're gonna colorize the line art. We're gonna do it on a layer with some you know, masked off things so that we you know, keep the grays in the black and whites, and then like from there we're gonna add some zip tone, and then the internal monologue for me drawing is, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, is this okay? I don't know. Is this okay? Fuck it, we'll fix it later. I don't know. Like it's a completely different animal. And I also feel like I you know, I've only written a few things ever. I wrote a script for my buddy Larry once. That was a Adventure Time He-Man crossover thing, and I didn't feel like I was drowning then. And I think that the difference between what was going on then, yeah, fuck, I'll do it live, pretty much, yeah. Drawing is nonstop panic for me. I'm trying to like practice a little bit more, but it's just been so long, and I can't do it consistently. And that's the other thing. Like, if you ever want to get over that hump, you have to do it consistently. You have to do it every day. But yeah, I wrote that like He-Man Adventure Time, I guess fanfic. I don't know. Is that what it's classified as? I don't know. I'm not part of this world. I'm just a tourist. But the point is that I didn't necessarily feel that panic because I am like a newborn baby when it comes to writing. Like, I don't know shit from shit. I don't know what works and what doesn't. But like visually, like I know what works. Like Tom's drawing is excellent. And so I know exactly what he needs to like, push it over the top. So yeah, I don't know if that script that I did for my buddy Larry that was like going to be this one shot thing was actually any good or not, because like I just don't know how to gauge that stuff. And I think the only way to do that is to like, get experience and actually get some stuff out there in the wild. So we're going to copy the line art layer. We are going to do a new layer. We're going to fill it with a color. It doesn't matter what color. We're going to give it a, this is the mask. This is the layer mask that we're doing. And we're going to paste the line art in. And I think we got to invert it. I'm pretty sure we do. And it should, yeah, it colorized all the line art. So, but we only want to work on the stuff in the back. So by using like this kind of like toothy, by using the actual line art back here, and you can see it's like, this is the inverted line art. We're like filtering it through we're filtering the color through that, so it's like picking up all of the like toothiness and crazy stuff that Tom was putting down, like all the grays and everything. And like a darker color works a little better, obviously, because like it's supposed to be dark. But and then we can take this color, and we can put gradients of color in there too. Whoa, Photoshop's struggling. I really hope it doesn't crash. Like add light and effects. So let's do that, but let's actually just, all we want is the back. We don't want to colorize any of the foreground. So select back to the mask, and like, yeah, we want regular pencil, and we're just gonna take away all this foreground stuff and kick it back to what Tom had originally with the black lines. So yeah, we're just tweaking the layer mask to get here. And this is going to be kind of tedious and boring. So, strap in for a great stream, guys. Remember to subscribe to my tedious and boring layer masking. It isn't going to be just this. I promise. We're gonna do cool zip tone things eventually too. It's not going to be just this bullshit. Will be interesting, I promise. But yeah, in case you didn't know, I got that subscribe. I mean, it is a little magical. Like, it's cool, like how it like you know, it's still like toothy, you know. Um, we're actually gonna play with the levels a little bit on Tom's lines because some of the stuff is very transparent, and I want to make the best piece possible. But yeah, and I'm sure that I'm gonna be missing a pixel here and there, so you know, like this is gonna be like a running oh my god, we need to fix this kind of thing. I'm not doing this very meticulously. So yeah, Deadpool came out. It's apparently bi-weekly. I didn't know that when the first one was rolling around. I'm working on 290 right now, I think. And then I think I stop at 291. And the one that just came out was 288. So the one that I'm working on now comes out in 6 weeks. If that did I just math right? I don't know. Man, you know, I'm a visual person. Hey, we got our first subscriber. Thank you, the boys. You'll have emotes and stuff soon. Speaking of, what do you guys want for what do you guys want for emotes? I was thinking of an emote that says like it's an art, or maybe one that says are we done? Because I feel like I say that shit all the time, and I'm trying to think of like stuff that will work in other streams as well. So we'll see how it goes. Dad joke emote. Oh man, I did upload that dad joke thing to my YouTube. If you guys, there's a link down below to my YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out those dad jokes. Oh God, don't look. Yeah, maybe that should be the emote. You know, like, here's the thing. One of the things that I've noticed about like tutorials that are on YouTube is that you watch a tutorial and the guy or girl giving it is like, all right, we're here today and I'm going to teach you how to do this, and it's super easy. We're just going to click. Art is so much more messy than that. Like, I feel like I want, you know, streams where the artist is like, is this working? Is this done? I don't know. You know, like, because I was doing that when I was starting. When I started to play Magic, was that I was trying to like win 100%, and I was watching all these like streaming wasn't big yet. Ooh, did we goof it? We did goof it with that line. Don't look at this. Yeah, so like one of the things that like messed with my head when it came to no, I mean, when I was starting watching these streamers, or not streamers, YouTubers, and they were like, you like every upload was like a perfect draft, and I was like, how are they able to consistently like 3-0 every single time? I was like, you know, sitting down and doing like 4 drafts or 3 drafts or whatever, and then like cherry picking the ones successful. Like, I was watching people who were like only perfect records, and then, you know, I was reading about how like pros have a win percentage of like, and we're going to tie this into art eventually, this conversation, that pros have a win percentage of like 60%. And like, I couldn't figure out like what card advantage was and that kind of thing. And I was like, why am I struggling at, 1-3, one win, or, 1-2 or whatever? Why am I playing Swiss and I'm in the bottom 2 every time? Everybody else knows something you don't, which was true, but like everybody else was still like, I might have been failing or succeeding, which I don't even know how we're going to fix that, but we'll fix that. Don't worry about it. So like this quick thing right here and just make this selection. And I'm just going to fast forward this whole section where I did all the rendering, because you don't want to, it's going to be kind of boring. So let's just, do that in 20 seconds sped up. Like, I don't think there's any value in that. Like, I think that there's value, I don't know, like this sterilized freaking thing. So speaking of trying shit out and like it not really putting down a vivid color, it's not really picking up exactly what I want it to do. Like, I want it to be like pop off the page in your face of, oh my god, I'm bastardizing these colors. Oh man, we goofed this part too. Oh, by the way, this is what our mask looks like right now. It's just the syndrome to some extent that not enough people celebrate the struggle. Yeah, man, if I started doing art and like everything seemed like, and I get that, when you're making a tutorial, you just want to like teach someone. I recently did I'd never really done something like that before, and I was painting it in. It was like a blank background. I put the bullet holes in. I started painting the light source in and all that kind of stuff. And because it was like out of my comfort zone, I was like, well, let's see if there's like tutorials on YouTube. And there were, and they were kind of terrible. Wall Jamboree. Thank you for the follow. My little like follower alert thing like skews the actual name, the actual texts. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, man, first of all, the information that I found was hey, there you are in the chat hanging out. Welcome. So the first thing I found was that like I didn't find a whole lot of like usable information. Some of it was that I was like really overthinking it. But like so much of it was like, oh, you just click here, you're done. I don't know. Like, there should be a little bit of struggle. So we have the back kind of masked off. We can select these guys. This is us knocking out the line art back there. We can tweak that. Try to get like a more vivid tone out of it, but I don't think it's gonna happen without just like us manually doing something. But you know what? We could also just like, we could try something else. We can try to just make it glow. Like the white parts glow, and then it'll kind of like help with all the other color around it. I was on the wrong mode. Maybe it'll make like all the other color around it kind of more vivid. So feather selection, we're gonna move to a separate layer, screen down, and kind of try to make it glow. Yeah, that works a little bit. So here's the thing. Quote unquote successful, but not interesting. It's just a little bland. So let's kind of like try to fix that. First of all, I don't know, maybe we should screen, just like put a grad through the whole thing to make it a little more interesting. Maybe that'll help. New document. We're not going to paste it in or anything. We're going to kick it over to grayscale. Discard the image, but in black and white, you just end up with like a zip tone. It's just black and white. So we're going to take this, copy it, paste it in. And full disclosure, true to what I was saying before, I don't know if this is going to work. The struggle is real. But we're gonna threshold it. So let's kind of put down some color, set it to screen. So like, I don't know, that's kind of like, yeah. Now, well, that's the thing too, is like, so it's funny that you say that, because when I set out to work on this Kirby thing, like I just get a good selection so that we can kind of thereabouts so this selection is not perfect, but we're here. Like before I go in and carefully select out like all of the bullshit, let's see if it just like looks okay. Because that's important. And this is kind of the same technique that I was doing over Cave Carson as well. And all we're doing is trying to find like what's a good way to kind of like make this interesting. And we can select everything and change the colors of the zip. Like I feel like that's starting to look good. My concern is that it's looking all very, very orange. Like I wanted it like orange, but maybe not that kind of orange. I don't know. It's getting to be a little much. So we can kind of like, so the stuff on the left is excess information. One of the things that I think is going to be interesting too is like, we want to keep your eye here in like this area between Barda and Scott. And the way to do that is to kind of like make the highest highs, lowest lows. So let's try just like shadowing the wall over here a little bit more. Try to make it even though it has zip tone over it, try to make it less similar for the back. We really want to frame you like right here. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build like a picture frame. So we're going to take, so like this can be okay if it's like similar to the foreground, because it will help to frame the image more. Now I don't want it like pulling all the way forward, but we can do like a little bit. Like that's with a blue. Why don't we try like a green? Get that. Oh, now we're talking. We're gonna get that miracle palette. So like that green's starting to look hot. Oh, your PC's super dead now? That's a bummer. Mine's ready to go at any moment while on stream. So yeah, I feel your pain. So let's we're going to do the same thing on the right side that we did on this side, but in order to do that, we got to like throw a grad through the thing, which means we got to deselect. Oh, wait, we can just... Didn't I... Dang, I thought I saved the background selection, but I guess I didn't. The struggle is real. There we go. What happened to your PC? Did it just like die on you? The last PC that I owned actually caught fire in my apartment. So that was a thing. It was kind of a big deal at the time. I was in college. That was before I switched to Macs. I've bought 2 Macs over the last like 15 years. But I'm switching back to PC and also hoping that things will not be set on fire. All right. So, what if we take this to multiply and kind of like... So like this is good. This is where I want to end up, but it's a little too strong. So we're going to tone it back just a little bit. We're trying to frame it up. Nick's college days were lit. Yeah, literally on fire. All right. Maybe we can screen this the same way we screen the other stuff. So like here's one of the problems. So this is the regular line art. This is the line art we're working with now. If I take this, what if we run a screen over... Whoa, 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 whoa. Do the thing. There we go. So that mask isn't working very well. I was hoping that the mask would like push the zip tone back, but it's like half pushed back because there's so many grays in the line art. I wonder if we did like use the regular black and white art and use that as the screen. Yeah, that pushed it all back, but it did it for this stuff too, which is not what I wanted. I think this is going to be a little more time intensive. I was hoping to like cut corners. I was hoping to not have to do this by hand, but I think I have to do this by hand. I think we're going to do this by hand. Let's take the eraser. Oh, that is not the brush we want. All right, so I was having this problem before. Let's fix it right now. So when I select this brush, even if I'm on a, which is what I want, I just want like a round, pressure sensitive brush for the eraser. The problem is it's saved the settings for the pencil there, so it's always going to switch to pencil even if I'm on eraser. So let's make a new brush. New brush preset. Include tool settings. No. Brush size is fine. Here it is, all the way at the bottom. Let's add it up there in the corner. In fact, we could add it actually right next to this guy. All right, so now I selected eraser. I selected this. We should still be on eraser. Set it to pencil. Yeah, we're all good. All right. So let's look at this. So like, this is kind of like visually interesting. Yeah, boys. I know. We're subbed to each other. We're just honestly between the two of us, we're just giving Twitch $5 for the privilege. But you're gonna get a cool emote, and I don't know what it is yet, but it's probably gonna be about panicking. By the way, if you're tuning in, you can subscribe to me now. We got to figure out what we're gonna do for that, but that has to happen on a week when I'm not juggling 4 projects at once. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out for you fine people. So thankfully, the zip tone stuff is all a little because they're like dots. We don't have to be super like meticulous. If somebody's like, hey, I noticed that half a dot over here in the corner did not line up perfectly with the line art, you know, that person, first of all, that person doesn't exist. Second of all, if that person does exist, please stop, please, because we're doing our best out here, you know. So we're going to try to just kind of like rough erase the, and is this part of it? That's not part of it. Is that part of it? I selected the pencil like a maniac. Is this part of it? I guess that's part of it. I guess that's part of it. So yeah, part of the reason why, by the way, I wanted to keep, rather than using the black-white version of this piece and use Tom's, the goddamn pencil, and use Tom's like kind of like more grayscale brushy line art, is because like that brushy line art has an energy to it that I think is unique to like what Tom does professionally. I think he does, like, by the way, you guys should follow him. His information's at the top of the screen here. He does like a ton of like D&D stuff and you know, character design stuff. It's like his Instagram's fantastic. He actually just started a week ago with the Instagram, but it's pretty great. At any rate, yeah, he has this like energy that I feel like gets lost when you like where this piece is. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, so it has this energy that's like kind of lost when you just like threshold the lines into like black and white. And like the black's maybe darker, and you know, like it may read better as a comic, but like it's not as interesting as it is when he does like the brush work. And this is something I actually noticed with Phil Hester's stuff too. I am a huge Phil Hester fan. His stuff is really interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but it kind of like the way Phil solves problems is like is really, really unique and interesting. His art kind of like hovers between graphic design and it's like a 50-50 split of graphic design and then like actual like cartooning, which I feel like it hey Kate, thank you for the sub. Which I feel like is really interesting. But you know, when his lines get, and when you see the pages in like, if you see him at a show, go see his pages. Go check out the stack. The brushiness of his line art like adds this like tooth to what he's doing with, and it like, so it like goes from, when you see it in print, it kind of like leans more graphic, And when you see it in real life, it leans more cartooning. There's a life in it, in like the grays and the brushwork and everything that is not communicated necessarily in like the threshold black white line art, which I think is like really interesting, that like his art can kind of like hover between the two places. You don't see a lot of artists like that. And so like I personally want to get, I'm back on my bullshit. I personally like want to learn how to better roll with that kind of stuff. This kind of grayed out inks. And part of the thing that's kicking my ass to do it is that the realm is like that too. And so I'm like, okay, like the realm is important to me, and I want to make the realm as great as I can make it. Maybe we can learn how to do this. We can learn together how to work this kind of thing. So that's why I switched over. And man, if I ever get to work with Phil Hester again, I hope that we get to do something where we don't get a lot of backseat editorial stuff. Not that the stuff that I was working on was super backseat editorial, but like I feel like when I did some Batman Beyond stuff with Phil, and some Flash stuff with Phil, and I was trying to square peg round hole at the time. Like I went in with some preconceived notions rather than doing what like necessarily the line art called for. One of the things was Phil even was like, hey, when we work on this, you should do it like this way. And I was like, yeah, all right. And I was so excited, I just was throwing everything at it. And I was like, it was not the where I really wanted to be. So I kind of want to make this like glow a little bit down here. Man, so I'm liking these zip tones, especially like on this side, but like over the vent it starts to like flatten out the vent. I wonder if we multiply it instead. Multiply looks weird. Maybe we can kind of just colorize it as something else over the vent. Kind of like knock it back a little. Yeah. But is that going to pull it forward? It does pull it forward. Maybe we just do that, but with a different color. Like push it back less. 50% maybe. Yeah, I think that's where we want to be. Trying to figure it out. Oh, heading home. Drive safe, boys. Thank you for the follow, or the subscription, the very first one. So let's, oh, that's not what I wanted. Set that to screen. Let's pick up this, put it on normal, because I got to figure out what this color was. There it is. All right. All right. We're like kind of darkening up the places that need to get darkened up. In the zip tone, like I want to kind of keep this shadow together. So let's darken that up as well. Yeah. So now it's like, it's not as obtrusive. It seems like a very minor thing, but like that looks a little weird to me. I don't know if you can even, if this is even like registering on screen. This is so subtle, but like this looks a little weird to me and this does not. I don't know. So Man, since we went yellow and green for the background, like Mr. Miracle, it kind of makes me want to tweak the lights to like a green. Maybe. You know, and we can, I think we're going to try to make this stuff vivid. As much as I was dancing around it, I think we're just going to try to figure this out with the regular black-white line art. Yeah, we're going to use all the tools at our disposal, not be married to, not feel like we have to do it one way or the other. So let's select this. Let's see. Let's just to see. Oh, I have another follow. I didn't even catch it. Kuda999. You're my dude. If you are in fact a dude, you could be a lady. I don't know. Kuda, what is that? I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the follow. So yeah, let's try to like figure out exactly what's going on with this. See if this is gonna look good. Now we're over the line art, but under all the effects. And it would be cool to do like a green. Yeah, so this is gonna look a little more vivid. I'm kind of like burning your eyeballs with this, but that's a good thing. It's gonna be good. Burning your eyeballs is a good thing. Whoa. Oh, I selected the window. Burning your eyeballs is a good thing. We didn't get over there yet. Okay, we'll keep it. So let's go back to the black white and select the rest of it. A lot of what I'm doing is like very, very subtle, but like will add up to, each little piece will kind of add up to something that's very different than the whole, you know? And this is what I was talking about when it comes to like going the extra mile. Sometimes I talk about how like when I was early in my career, I'd be like, well, this is like good enough, you know? And especially when you've been within the comic industry, sometimes you end up in a place where it's like, okay, I've been grinding at this for a long time. I'm like kind of broken in, like people know who I am, but like now I'm exhausted because I've been like sprinting. I'm a big like proponent of like, you should find a way to make art sustainably for you. Like it should not be sprint. It should not be sprint all the time, because if that happens, you're going to burn yourself out. And what happened to me was that like I did burn myself out. There's like this kind of stuff that we're tooling around with is something that I would not have done when I was like 5 or 6 years in my career, because I'd be like, well, these changes are so minor, you know, like nobody's gonna care, you know, like whatever, where I'll just, nobody will notice if I do it or I don't do it. But the truth is that like all little things in art like add up to a greater whole. Like this is a very minor thing, this like green versus orange, but the green makes it just like a little more interesting. And also the green, like, not only does it go with like the sewage color that we were putting down here, but it also like echoes what's going on with Mr. Miracle. So it's like worth doing so that you can visually tie the whole thing together. How long have we been streaming? Like an hour 15? All right. I think for now we're gonna call it, and we're gonna try to finish this up tomorrow. Normally I would power through, but like we've been I've been inundated with projects this week. It's been nonstop. Deadpool, American Way, the Realm covers, Beauty covers. It's been like, and then I was working on a thing with Schoonover, and like it's been nonstop crazy. and I still have a bunch of Deadpool pages to do later today. So I think for now, we're going to leave this here, and we're going to finish it tomorrow. We're probably going to work an hour and a half tomorrow, and wrap it up. So you don't want to miss that. You should bump that follow if you want to see like where we end up on this thing. And as always, whatever you see on screen on Twitch is not going to be as quite as like representative as to like the JPEG that I'm going to put on like Instagram or Twitter. Like that stuff is going to look like so much better. So you should follow me there, see what we're doing, and you can keep, like my projects, keep up to date on everything that I'm working on. And I think that we're going to finish off Barda and Scott tomorrow. So join us then. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for following. I wonder if I've never kicked it. I'm trying to get back into the idea of like kicking it over to other streamers. I wonder if there's anybody streaming anything cool and creative. Let's find out. I wonder if Tony Moy is actually streaming, because he does great stuff, and I think he was streaming like a big thing today, but he is not streaming right now, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know who to kick it to. The Twitch creative is like kind of all over the place. There's people making music, there's people doing arts and crafts. It's all great, but it's like I want to kick you over to somebody doing comics, and I don't know. Maybe we'll get better at this in the future. Anyway, thank you for hanging out. Tomorrow we're going to finish this piece up. I will talk to you then.